With the product form ready to go, we can now create a view for store owners to add products to the store. In the product app's views.py, I'll call this view add product, and for now all it will do is render an empty instance of our form so we can see how it looks. It'll use a new template which we'll create in a moment called add product, and will include a context including the product form. This also means we need to import product form up here at the top. So that's simple enough. Now let's create a URL for it. I'll add a new URL called add, which will point to the add product view and have a name of add product. We'll also need to update the product detail URL slightly to specify that the product ID should be an integer, since otherwise navigating to products/add will interpret the string add as a product ID, which will cause that view to throw an error. This happens because Django will always use the first URL it finds a matching pattern for, and in this case, unless we specify that product ID is an integer, Django doesn't know the difference between a product number and a string like add. I'll also add a trailing slash here, as that's just good practice and I've accidentally left it off. The last thing we need is the add product template, which I'll create here alongside products.html. It'll have a similar look to the checkout page, so let's copy all that code and we can start there as a base. We can get rid of all the JavaScript at the bottom for now, as well as the loading spinner and everything in the second row in the main page container. Now I'll change the header to product management, make this column 50% width on medium and larger screens, and add a subheader specific to this being the add product page. We also won't need the extra CSS block or the bag tools, so let's get rid of those. Let's check out how that looks. So that's a decent looking shell. Now we need another 50% width column in the second row, which will render our product form as a nicely styled crispy form. Of course, we need to wrap this inside a form element, and we'll give it a method of post, an action URL of add product, and a class of form with a bit of margin on the bottom. We also need to add the encoding type attribute on this form, since it will potentially be submitting an image file, and without this, the image won't be uploaded properly. Finally, I'll add the CSRF token, a submit button, and a cancel button to go back to the products page, and these will both be aligned right at the bottom of the form. If we take another look now, it looks a lot better and should be just about ready to go. We'll tidy up this image field in a future video, but for now this looks pretty good. Let's go back and commit this to GitHub. In the next video, we'll write the post handler for the add product view and fix a few small bugs it exposes.